Hi everyone, it's Catherine here from Chaos Creates. Thanks for joining me on my channel today. I'm here to share with you a layout I'm creating for Scrap the Boys for the month of May, and we're using this fabulous sketch by Lacey Gasper. So Lacey Ann Designs, she's part of the design team for Scrap the Boys as well. And I couldn't help but be inspired by the No Limits collection from Coco Vanilla Studio. I had just received this kit in the mail, so I couldn't help but be inspired by it. I have only made one other layout with this, which you would have seen earlier on my channel. And so I am starting with this stripy paper and I'm just going ahead and gutting it because it just makes such a fabulous border. I didn't want to lose that piece and so I wanted to be able to make a border for another layout. So I'm going ahead here and cutting out all the stripes on this paper. So I'm just loosely cutting around where the lines are. So I'm not making it straight. I'm deliberately making it crooked and at angles and following those colors. So getting rid of the sort of white specks in between and trying to follow those paint lines. So once I do that, I will cut some of this out. Don't worry, I don't make you watch all of this, but I go ahead and cut them and then I'm going to rough up the edges of each of these. And so I'm using my edge distresser here just to rough up the edges, but you could use your scissors, a craft knife very carefully. But yes, just trying to rough up the edges to make them so that they aren't straight lines. So I really love that. And now I'm going to go ahead and just start sticking these down. I wanted to make them on all different lengths. So I'm just going ahead and placing them. I am following the color from the actual stripe paper, and so matching that order as well, but just going ahead and sticking them all down. So as I'm doing that, I will let you know that I've left links below to the Facebook group, so you can go ahead and join the Facebook group and play along with this sketch to get your boys scrapped for this month. I think it's a super fun sketch and I loved playing along with it. So I'll also leave links to the blog and you'll be able to see everyone and what all the design team and what they've created for this month. There's some really awesome layouts and everyone's take on this is different. It's fabulous. So I'm just going ahead and laying these pieces out, just sticking them down, not thinking about it too much, just following that color, laying them out there. And I do realize in a moment I'm going to probably run out of colors. So I'm like, oh, what am I going to do here? But I keep just sticking down and then I'm like, oh, I've only got a few things left. But I realize I'm going to be laying I do go ahead and cut these off so that I know that I can use some of them maybe. They're still short, but I'd need to piece them together. But I do realize I'm able to do that because I'm going to lay my photos in a certain spot. So I'm just working out where my photos are going to go so that I can keep sticking down these smaller pieces and hide kind of those gaps. So I'm going ahead, like you can see, and following that color scheme, but just making sure that I'm tucking these pieces in and around so that I can still make it look like these stripes are full stripes along the side of the page there. So as I'm doing that, I will come in and stick them down, but at this point I'm like, okay, I think it's going to work. I do sort of come away from that, I guess that same pattern. So I'm slightly mixing up the colors there, but I think in the end you don't notice that, and I certainly, I'm not going to be flicking through my album and realize and think, oh gosh, that's not following the same rainbow pattern. I think it all works. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick those down. And yeah, I'm really liking how this is looking so far. So sticking this down and making sure that yeah, those stripes are kind of complete. So at the end, I do stick sort of two pieces together and they really line up well enough, for your eye not to notice it too much. So I go ahead and sort of piece those two sort of green colored pieces together and I'll just go ahead and cut the remainder off. And so I really love how this looks, and I think it's a fabulous way to use up some of the pattern paper but without having to use too much. I've still got that sort of border piece that I can use on another layer. Now I'm going to go ahead and find some border pieces for my photos. I really love this deep navy blue. As you can see, I've matted a previous layouts photo on that. So that's going to be one of my favorites. I'm just going to use that corner piece, and that's fine. And now I'm going to go ahead and mount it on this beautiful, sort of aqua blue color or teal blue. I really love that one too. There's so many colors in this in this collection that I love. So I love the pops of red. I really love this new boy collection. So I think it's going to become a favorite and start to use it a lot more. So I'm going to mat this on the wood grain paper, and of course Cocoa Vanilla Studio always does a beautiful wood grain. So I'm just getting those A5 papers out of the way because I feel like I've done enough matting on these photos, and I'm just trying to work out again sort of how I want to place my photos there, and I like one sort of a little bit straighter than the other and one on quite an angle, and that does cover up those other pieces. I'm now going to search through and find a title for my layout, and I find You're Totally, and then I sort of want my title on a bit of an angle there, like, or sort of diagonally going down the page. So I find this You're Totally Awesome, and I really love how that looks. I really wanted a big bold title. Now I'm just going through and picking out some ephemera pieces. Now this layout was really easy to embellish. I didn't follow the sketch to an absolute T, but I took note of the fact that there was using some circular elements and some stars. So I'm going ahead and I'm using these wood veneer buttons just to create those, those circular kind of elements. And so the one at the top says Cool Kid, and the one next to that second photo where I'm just putting those rock hand signal, that says You Rock. And then I'm just going through and putting out some more embellishments. I've got this one that says Smile Big on the photo, and I am trying to use up some more of these stars. And I like those sketchy sort of stars with the white borders, but I do end up taking them off and replacing them with some other things here. I've put that banner piece saying Yeah below the title, and I really like how that's looking. So I am going to go through, look at the chipboard pieces, and I pick out this sort of mustardy yellow star. I'm just trying to mix up the colors, and I am going to go ahead and try and see what stickers I can make work. I'm putting this sort of little label here that I can put a date on later, and I'm just mixing up the stars to make sure that the colors and the patterns are working, and just seeing all the embellishments that I can make work. I didn't think it needed too much more, to be honest. So I go ahead and glue everything down. That piece up there says awesome since day one. And so I haven't really told you much about the photo. So while I'm sticking all this down, so these photos are from Sebastian in his brand new Lego pajamas. And so the colors work perfectly with this sketch. So I've got all of those bright, beautiful colors, all of the Lego colors there. And yeah, I think that works really well with the photos. There was nothing much to the photos. We were just at our Orma's house, and he was just looking super cute, or I think so anyway. And so I just snapped a couple of photos, and so I wanted to document it. So again, just sticking all of these pieces down. And I really like how this is coming together. I keep everything pretty flat, to be honest. I felt like I'd sort of created some dimension just with the roughing up of those striped sort of pieces on the background, and so I'm keeping everything else relatively flat here. I'm not bumping anything up on foam, just going ahead and sticking it all down. There is obviously some dimension with those wood buttons, so I'm just adding another one there. That is one of the planets. And now I'm coming in with these puffy stickers. Now these are just so awesome. I love them so much. I need more packets of them, I think, already in my life. But I'm just going ahead and I'm going to sprinkle around some gold glitter spray by Jen Hatfield, and then I'm nearly done. I will leave you with some close-ups at the end. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.